time.
The boys are back. That's right, Florida Man Sports is here with another exciting episode. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. This is Florida Man Sports.
Ladies and gents, Florida Man Football, we're back.
With the can.
That's none of your business. Streaming on all major platforms. Do like, share, and subscribe. And thank you, folks, for joining us on another episode here of Florida Man Football. Johnny Cinco, before we start rocking and rolling, should I be concerned about that? All right, then we're rolling, rocking and rolling. Listen, folks, always want to remind you that we are streaming on all major platforms, so do please like, share, and subscribe. Always trying to get to those likes on Facebook so we can get rolling live there as well.
Okay.
Eventually, when we decide to go live. Johnny Cinco, there's at times that in podcasts where you want to tell the people the truth.
Okay.
You want to confess the truth, because the only way that you tune in to this highly sought after show, episode after episode, is that we tell you the truth and we call it. When we're wrong, we're wrong. When we're right, we're very good to tell you when we're right.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, the fact of the matter is, over the last couple of years now, Florida Man Football has been pretty darn good when it comes to our picks. So we have to improve in that department. We're going to do that this episode. But we also need to admit when we're wrong in certain aspects, Johnny Cinco.
Where were we wrong?
Well, let's start with the Tampa Bay Bucs.
Okay.
We picked the Bucs to win the game. Bucs got the W. But let's take a moment before we talk. Everybody's talking about the game. Let's talk about how we were wrong. How you were wrong.
How was I wrong?
How you were wrong. Listen, we want the people to come back. Tell the truth.
Okay. Go ahead.
Ibuka.
Oh my! What is?
He is the truth. He is the outlet. He is the front runner for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
And the thing that everyone, including this man right here, said was, we shouldn't have drafted him in the first round. We've got plenty of wide receivers.
Okay.
It was a question mark. And I believe and I feel like he's been a part of the success for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So are you ready to give this man his flowers and give the Bucs their due?
Like most women I know, he likes to mix up what I've actually said and what I meant. So it's
most men,
I
or
understand that
men,
there.
or
so in this reference here, it was a mistake to draft Ibuka if you're going to go ahead and sign Godwin. That was the outlier. That's what I was referencing. So at the end of the day, I'm not mad at the pick. I never thought Ibuka was going to be a bad pick, that he was going to be a bad player. But then it made no sense to me and many others to go ahead and pay Godwin the money and draft a wide receiver with your first pick.
So now,
the fact that they had him is fine. They should have went ahead and draft him, but they shouldn't have re-signed Godwin.
So that's the problem, and that's what I'm trying to say, that it's okay to admit we're wrong. Pride is ugly, Johnny Cinco. And right now, what everybody is waiting for is for the bye week to come in a couple weeks, for the Bucs to get Godwin fully rolling, get Evans back, and really show what this offense can do. So I'm sorry. I think that you're wrong. And I'm going to say again, we owe Ibuka his flowers. This was a great decision by Jason Light. And because of it, we've got wide receivers that are ready to perform now and now ready to perform in the long run with him and with McMillan. So I'm excited about that, man. I think it was a great pick. I think he was right. And for the most part, the people that are podcasters, we were wrong. And that's okay. So
I don't think so. I mean, I think in our show, I have no problem saying when I'm wrong. But in this show, you were adamant that Ibuka was a good pick, everything else. I was the one saying that, no, the dude is a good player. Like you're not getting bad receivers really out of Ohio State. He's a good player.
Sure.
But it just is head scratching because you had so many needs, secondary being one of them. And you went ahead and drafted a wide receiver, your first, round pick, when you have a full wide receiver room and you just re-sign Godwin. I completely understand that move if they didn't re-sign Godwin, but they did. So for me, they could have used that money, that Godwin money, on some of their other needs. But we saw last week what this offense can produce. I know you're saying that we're going to wait till, no, that Seattle game, you saw what they're capable of. They put up some points. I texted you during the game, before the game, they're going to blow it up this game. I know it. They're going to, you've seen what the Tampa Bay offense can do. Seattle match for them. Shout out to David, who came up with the clutch, pick when it mattered most. That game was driving me crazy because we had talked about this. Remember, they were going to initially kind of go for the 2. They went for the 1. And it was like, no, like it's. I'm glad actually it worked out the way it needed to work out. He trusted his defense.
Yeah.
His defense came through. But, Baker Mayfield, again, these guys I wanna see Tampa this upcoming week here to go ahead and have a dominant performance. Also, I'm happy as a Tampa fan or just Florida fan, anybody there, you like to see those games, those down to the wire games, but is this sustainable, Chris?
Well, the thing that I'm glad you brought that up. So the thing that's kind of scary, whenever you hear things like for the first time in NFL history, those are the kind of things that
Yeah.
kind of make me scratch my head, get me a little nervous because to your point, now the Bucs have won the first 4 out of 5 games within 3 points or less, first time that we've ever done that. And that to me in itself, oh, thank God, that to me in itself is concerning, right? So to your point, Johnny, this is the thing that people don't realize. Like now that we're 4-1, I've been looking ahead at the schedule. Now that we know which teams are good, which teams are trending down. And Johnny, the Bucs schedule is not a easy schedule at all.
No,
We've
it's
got
not.
just real quick. I'm not going to go down the list, but you're talking about games like San Francisco, the Lions. We know the Patriots are now better this year. Talking about the Bills and the Rams, and then of course the divisional games. So the fact that we started 4-1, Johnny, we needed to start 4-1. There's no question about it with this schedule, and I am excited for after the bye week when we see our full potential. And you know what? Give all the kudos to Baker Mayfield, who undoubtedly, Johnny, he's going to get paid. There's just no, I mean, there's no question about it at this point.
Or we had talked about this, the end of last season to where it's like, should Tampa just go ahead and pay Baker
Yes.
now to try to save a few bucks?
Mhm.
Because like we
Yeah.
said, like, listen, if this guy balls out
Yeah.
like he's doing now, it's gonna cost them. So we saw he's led this team to prominence. He's owns Tampa right now, the city. So we thought like it's better. Let's go ahead and pay the man now. Pay him now. Let's not wait because if he had the season maybe the opposite, maybe they started 1-4.
Mhm.
He's still going to be our guy. He was still going to get paid. So whether he had a 1-4 start, or if you signed him once, you're pretty much going to pay him that same amount there. I think they could have saved themselves probably about $10 million a year
Oh yeah, they
if
could have. They
they
very well could have, Johnny.
wouldn't
Yeah.
have done
Yeah.
that. Now they're getting stuck in a situation to where like you can hopefully we'll see. I think Baker's going to get paid, but
But you know
I
what?
think he's going to be reasonable.
Underpaying somebody and then overpaying them afterwards kind of balances out, right? I mean, we got him on the cheap now with that $30 million contract for 3 years, right? So
Yeah.
now overpaying is fine for me. But I'm excited for Tampa Bay. Johnny Cinco, let's talk a little bit about the Miami Dolphins. They played the Carolina Panthers, right? They lose 24-27. Again, if you watch this game, folks, it's one of those things that just breaks you down as the quarters are going. And I talk a lot about the flow of the game, Johnny. I was watching it by the third quarter. I'm like, this is not looking good. This is not looking good. I wasn't feeling good about this game at
Yep.
all. What are your thoughts on this game, and what are your thoughts on Miami at now at 1-4?
I mean, if you saw the game, 17-0 after the first. I thought, oh my God, they're gonna run away with the Miami. They're gonna turn the tide. They're gonna figure things out. Even with Carolina, a team like this, you should just dominate. And then they forgot they needed to play it out of 3 quarters, and they just disappeared for the most part of the rest of the game. 17-0. They didn't score again, Chris, until a bomb to Waddle in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, and then they went ahead and gave it up. Miami, I'm done with McDaniels. I'm done with Miami.
Yeah.
This game coming up right here, they lose this game. This is the game I call. If they lose this game, he's done. The coach is getting fired. I know the reports said something a little different, but depending on how they lose this game, I can see this coach getting fired.
Well, yeah, they said that he's moving on to next week. He's not getting fired as of yet. That was the most latest report. But let's be real. Yes, you can get fired and you lose your team, but you can already, physically lose your team already, right? The morale and all that. And at 1-4, I don't even think that he has his team. I don't think that people are following McDaniels. It's like a sinking ship at this point. And I try to be as fair as I can be, right? I look at Carolina, Johnny, and I'm like, well, you know what? This is year 3 of Canales. They're also trying to win games. So now they're 2-3. I'm trying to give the Dolphins the benefit of the doubt, but I just can't.
No.
I just can't. And so, yeah, I mean, what else is there to say, Johnny Cinco? The schedule only gets worse for the Dolphins. So is there a trade that needs to happen with at 1-4 right now?
Yeah, the trade
We'll
that
talk a little bit about the trades that are happening. So that's what I'm asking for the Dolphins.
yeah, it's too late. The trade that I said before the season started, you needed to trade Hill. I was like, guys, you need to trade before the season. At the end of last season, when his nonsense run his mouth, trade this guy. Go ahead. You guys had some cap issues. You got some draft capital. Go ahead and trade him. Then in the early part of the season, you see it wasn't going. This guy's trade him. Now, essentially, a career-ending injury, you get nothing. You got nothing for him. I begged the Dolphins to go ahead and please just go ahead and trade Hill. And I'm a big Hill fan, but trade him. Let's move on from him. It wasn't working out. It wasn't producing wins and playoff wins that we needed. Let's go ahead and figure things out, other needs that we need. And then we paying the back to Tua. We're stuck with Tua. I know you hate him.
Yeah.
$56 million, I think, to do next year, guaranteed. You're not. We can't get rid of Tua. It's not happening. He's stuck this season and next season. There's nothing Miami can do about it. The coach, you can go ahead and make some changes, but Tua's staying put. Nobody's taking that hit. Nobody's cutting that guy and taking that cap hit for no reason, even for wins. So Tua's stuck this year, next year. It's a complete disaster in Miami.
When they talk about coaching replacements and coaching names out there that may coach the Dolphins and you're still the head coach, that's a huge red flag. Whatever they do, though, Johnny, whatever they do, if you're listening, Miami Dolphins, please, for the love of God, not Rex Ryan.
No,
not
he's
Rex
always,
Ryan.
he's
No, I
always in
know,
the
I
mix.
know.
I think
Please don't.
I think it's his wife that puts out that every time
Bro,
there's
like,
an opportunity.
makes me sick to my stomach. I mean, that just make things worse.
But bro, when you are losing a game and you punt the ball with like a minute left, as a coach, you got to go. I mean, like, there was so many things that happened that game. That's so frustrating for me. Every Dolphins fan that was watching this, I'm sure they were looking at this like, it's a minute left. You're down, it's 4th down, and you're punting. Like, what are you thinking? But anyway.
Let's get some bad taste out of our mouth here, Florida Man Football. Let's wrap this one up with our Florida teams, talking about Jacksonville and Kansas City, where, Johnny, I said, I hope I eat crow. I hope I'm wrong. And I'm very happy that I was wrong. Duval pulls it off, man, 31-28. What are any takeaways on this game for you?
I mean, one of the ugliest wins I've ever seen, but it doesn't matter. I'll take an ugly win over a pretty loss. I don't care.
Right.
A tale of two halves. The first half, Chris, it was just secondary was suspect. There was so many things I wasn't enjoying. Nothing was really moving. Things weren't working out for him. That horrendous, trying to dive over the goal line there, and it got fumbled, and the whole thing there was a mess. But they came through resilience of Duval, the resilience of Jacksonville Jaguars. Props to them. It was the ugliest game-winning touchdown probably of all time. It doesn't matter. Football can be ugly. It doesn't matter. All the positives I've seen there, and I did enjoy that. Because I hated the play calling.
Yeah.
I hated it.
But let's talk about that, right? Because now you're 4-1, Duval. You're 4-1, and who at this point gets the reward, right? Talking and who gets the you need to improve at 4-1, because they are 4-1. So is it Trevor Lawrence? No, you've been critical on him.
Yes.
So who gets the credit for that? Was going to be my next point with you on this 4-1 start.
The defense, bro.
Okay.
The defense gets the credit. Trevor Lawrence, the entire game, he looked at his first option. It wasn't there. His next was to scramble and run, which is what you expect from a year one guy. The guy, he's not in year one. This is what, 5th year coming in. So
here's the only problem, right? And this is Florida Man Football, so let's talk about it. If what you're saying is true, then, Johnny, at 4-1, what makes it tough when you're 4-1? It makes it tough benching your quarterback. So something has to give with Trevor Lawrence. He either has to step up, perform better. And if what you're saying is true, that he's underperforming at the least, right? Then if he does perform better, then this team can be really scary. If they're 4-1 with Trevor right now, you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
If they're 4-1 and he can improve, comes the bye week here around the corner, and he can improve and throw 300 yards a game, that's going to be that's a playoff team, man. I mean,
listen, I'm happy that Monday Night Football, the nation got to see Jacksonville still pull out a gritty win. They still did it. Overall, things worked out for them, like in, their defense, special teams worked out. But to see, for example, an option play by the quarterback that pitches it to the running back, that's a college play. To see that play call when it was, like a goal line stands on one end to kind of reach over, that's the play called. But play before that was a QB sneak. It was like, what are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing? Cohen, the play calling was so bad. But also, I mean, I need to look a little bit more to determine who's more to blame. Is it Cohen? Is it Trevor Lawrence? I'm not trying to be too negative. We got the win.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, congrats. But if you're trying to get to that next level of the way I think Jacksonville can, you need better play calling. You need better decision making by Trevor Lawrence. I did like Travis Hunter,
Yeah.
that just went ahead and he showcased some of his talents there. You saw him kind of like
Yeah,
make some
like
elite
catch a
catches.
terrible ball. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so elite catches, which you need. I mean, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, you drafted this guy to go ahead. He played Travis Kelce pretty well. He was the main defensive guy on him, and you know, as a receiver, he played a lot better than a lot of people expected. So overall, I'm happy for Jacksonville, but you can clearly see some definitely in areas that need to be improved.
And as we're getting to the midway season point of the season, that's what I was trying to mention here, Florida Man Football. We are going to go a little bit deeper with our Florida teams and dissect some of these things because we got to look at the rest of the schedule here in a couple of weeks, Johnny, and kind of see where this is going to play out and start talking about our division winners and whatnot. So definitely a good conversation to go forward. Before we go into our next week's picks, Johnny Cinco, any other thoughts on what happened with the NFL? I know the most recent thing right now has been the Flacco trade, but what are your thoughts on last week?
Yeah, I think the Bengals needed to do something. So regardless of what they did, I know we speculated, we talked about maybe Russell Wilson, it's going to be Jameis Winston. It needs to be somebody. They won't Flacco. I don't know how that's going to improve, Chris. You have a horrible offensive line, and you got the oldest quarterback in the league. So I don't know how that's going to improve that. He can run an offense, but he can't move. So we'll see what happens with that. The Cardinals, Chris, I don't know how, if you're a Cardinals fan, how you can leave that game and still continue to be a Cardinals fan. That was the worst game.
The worst sequence of events, really.
Oh my God,
yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And you know that football is a very passionate type of sport, and you saw the coach, you know, railing, just going off on him, and then he apologizes and he should apologize. He should apologize. At the end of the day, as a coach, you're the person that's supposed to keep the composure and keep her cool and leave that kind of talk for off camera. Yeah, no, he can get an earful.
100%.
Just do it off camera.
100%. I would agree with you 100% with everything except that boneheaded play. Okay, this is a guy, the DeMarco, whatever his damn name is there, who has, I believe, 3 career touchdowns in the NFL. Then he goes and pulls off the largest, the biggest run of his freaking career. And he gets there. He does that dumb move. I'm so tired of seeing this. We saw it last week. I'm so tired of seeing these professionals doing that. So you're wearing pads, the coach is getting pissed off, and he hits you. It's like, I mean, high school coaches who are coaching high school kids will get on them and kind of hype them up or do something or tap them on their shoulder. They're wearing pads. So he goes and hits him on the pad, and people are freaking out about it.
I'm not about the pad. I'm talking about the lecture. Like you're giving a grown man an earful. I just feel like at the end of the day, you could pull that. A better coach does that on the side, not in front of cameras. That's all.
Listen,
you don't let the game get to you like that.
You correct this issue with this stupid issue of professional football players and even collegiate football players are dropping the ball before because they're just thinking about how am I going to go ahead and react
the
to
celebration. Yeah.
Find them, put in their contract. If that happens, $1 million fine. It'll never happen again. It's never gonna happen. People say you should cut. I'm like, they ain't gonna cut because if somebody like Derrick Henry does that or something else like that, you're not cutting that guy. So it's kind of like, no, you're fined $1 million, and we'll see how many guys are not holding it all the way to handing it to, like very standard style, handing it to the referee at the end of the touchdown. But you're thinking too much about a celebration, you do this, that cost this team a win and completely change the season around, bro. Momentum matters, Chris.
Of course.
And the Cardinals had the game on lock. They lose that. And I can see this. We were talking about, man, the Cardinals are in first place at one point in their division.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now it's, dude,
couple of bad weeks.
Everything has happened and things change. And it all falls on one guy in one play. And he had the opportunity. The main guy, Connor, goes down. This is your shot. You're the guy. And you drop the ball, literally and figuratively like that. It's like, I'm sorry, dude. Like he deserved. I'm not mad at all the coach for going off on that player that way.
I think before we wrap up this week, talking about week 6 picks here at Florida Man Football, Johnny, we have to talk about just a couple of key games here because at the end of the day, the power rankings got shifted. I know, again, I started this episode with, it's like we got to start apologizing for certain things, right? We said that certain players and teams or power rankings were supposed to be like that, and then everybody lost. Like it was just a crazy week again here.
Crazy week.
And so let's talk about those.
I'll get us back on track.
Yeah. Let's talk about those 2 games, right? One is the Patriots and the Bills.
Yep.
Patriots won 23-20. Again, an electrifying game for Drake May. I give him all the credit in the world. What are your thoughts on that game?
Well, I had spoke about this beforehand to where Buffalo is a really difficult place to play in December and January.
Yeah.
And it's like that home field advantage for Buffalo, it's not really there in the fall. It's not. So everybody was kind of looking at this game and thinking that, okay, it's going to be, no, I looked at this and like, the Patriots, Bills always compete better. The Bills are still the little brother to the Patriots. Just, of course, they've had some recent success, but the Patriots, they've owned this for decades. So now it's just going to go ahead. I liked what I saw from Drake May. I like what I saw from this offense, from this defense. I like the direction that Vrabel's taken the Patriots. So it's fine. Everybody's lost now. The Bills have come down onto earth. I still not taking away from the Bills.
One of the things, well, no, but one of the things that I did say, and again, we got to, in a couple of weeks here, we're talking about divisional champions and all that. But the Patriots winning. One thing that I did say is if the Patriots, whoever wins this game, is going to have a real opportunity to make a deep playoff run. So now the Patriots win this game. Are the Patriots a playoff team?
Well, I called them to being a Patriot, being a playoff game before the season. Then I still see the Bills winning the division, but I do like the Patriots to find a way to sneak into the playoffs.
And then just the other game, Johnny Cinco, before we go into the next picks here, is the Broncos and Eagles. Just because, again, just a game that you would have thought that the Eagles would just at home, nonetheless, continue the dominance after the win with Tampa, and then lay the egg. The egg that I said the Bucs, I was afraid that they were going to do. Thank God we won. What are your thoughts on the Broncos winning 21-17?
Well, if you remember what I talked about with the Eagles and the Bucs last week, I didn't see the Eagles as being dominant. I saw that they turned turnovers into points, and that ended up costing the Bucs. The Bucs could have won that game. Like it's frustrating. Like the Bucs, they try to take it from the Bucs in this last game. I see an interception by Tampa, and they went ahead and threw a garbage flag, and that turned into 7 points by Seattle. Then I see one of the worst calls of roughing the passer that they did on Sam Darnold. He didn't even go to the ground, and that turned into 7 points. So it's interesting, and we've talked about this. It's frustrating as a football fan to see certain calls happen in there. We saw it with the Eagles. We saw it with the Bucs. So these things happen. So no, I'm not surprised so much that an elite defense like the Broncos found a way to win. Jalen Hurts has been struggling. Sneaky, not really seeing struggling offensively. That's why AJ Brown's numbers are so down. So they're winning because they find a way to win ugly. They find a way to squeeze in that.
Well, that's what
game.
winners do. That's what champions do. Yeah, they find ways to win. But yeah, no, absolutely, man. And with that being said, let's look at our week 6 picks. Johnny Cinco talking about those Eagles because they're kicking off Thursday night football.
Yeah,
it's Eagles and Giants. Giants are at home. We know that Jackson Dart is there. He's 1-1 as a starter. Johnny, how do you trust a team in the Giants that they beat the Chargers and then they lose to the Saints?
Well,
Eagles, Giants. Who are you taking?
You don't trust a team like that. You beat the Chargers because this is a rookie who gives zero tape on. You get a little bit more tape on. Now we have a little bit more tape on them. As of the last 10 years or so, the Eagles have owned the Giants. Why is that going to change now with a rookie, a quarterback in the Giants? Philadelphia Eagles are going to win this easily. Only overthink this one.
Florida Man football lock-in?
Lock-in.
Let's go. Let's move into Sunday games. Johnny Cinco, the Broncos, we're just talking about them next. Taking on the Jets at home. Listen, man, the Jets are 0-5. They're due for a win. Is it here? At home?
Did they win last week at home?
Well, they're 0-5, and it's a London game. It's a game in London.
So it's not going to – I mean, you would think that maybe because kind of like, all right, it's going to maybe help them because they're home, but they're not home.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The Jets are horrendous. And I'm a Jet hater. Of course, we are aware of this. I understand all this. But Denver's not going to come off a win like they had against the Super Bowl champs and then come and lay an egg against the Jersey Jets. It's just not going to happen. The Jets have been struggling all year. Justin Fields gets a lot of, like yardage and points in junk time. But end of the day, they're always playing from behind. I am not a big fan of Bo Nix. I don't think that he's doing much of anything, but I don't see Justin Fields scoring, 28 plus points against this Broncos defense. Denver wins.
I do think that Justin Fields is going to be playing on full tilt in the sense like he's 0-5. He's trying not to get benched. He's trying to keep his job. And you can talk about the money all you want. That coach he's the first coach in Jet history to start 0-5. So he will make a move. Money is not going to be a factor in this one. So, but I agree with you, Broncos. So Broncos taking the W and then for the Jets, man. So then Justin Fields gets benched.
Listen, Justin Fields on paper hasn't been playing horrendous. The backup that the Jersey Jets have isn't going to improve anything. This is more of a coaching issue than a quarterback issue.
I agree completely. A lot of flags for them. I agree.
So this is not. It's nothing to do with Justin Fields. For some reason, he chose to sign with the Jets with this, just understanding how they operate, understand how they work. I get it, but he should have went elsewhere, and unfortunately, he's going to deal with another coach some point in this season. This coach ain't surviving.
Let's talk a little bit about the Cardinals and the Colts, Johnny Cinco. The Colts, they got to right the ship, if you will. And then the Cardinals had that blunder that we talked about earlier. Colts are at home. Who's taking this one?
You want to think that maybe Arizona comes back from some type of that disastrous game. I don't see it. You're going against essentially the worst team in the NFL. That's the Jets and the Titans kind of battle between that, and you just give up the game. We can talk. We can have a whole show just talking about the Titans Cardinals game and how bad it was. We're not getting into it. Of course, if you're watching this, you're a football fan. You're aware of the craziness that went down, how they lost that game, what they did. So trying to bounce back from that is going to be incredibly difficult with how well Indianapolis is playing right now, Chris. At home, I like the Colts against the struggling. They're going to continue to decline. This whole thing is going to go down spiral. Cardinals are going to collapse this season. Colts are taking off.
I agree. Talk a little bit about the Dolphins, Johnny. We were so hard on them earlier here, Florida Man Football. They're taking on the Chargers. They're at home for whatever it's worth at this point. Is this an opportunity for the Dolphins to right the ship? Who's winning this one?
I mean, it's going to be an attempt. And when it's all said and done, I'm calling it. The report I read is that the owner is waiting 3 games to make his decision with the coach with Miami. But I think that if they lose bad enough in this game, then he's going to be fired after this particular game here. The Chargers are the better team. The Chargers are on a little bit of a slide themselves, but I think that McDaniels has completely lost the locker room at this point. He had a chance, 17-0, and then just falling off the cliff.
That's exactly how you lose them.
And
That's exactly how you lose them.
I don't see Miami bouncing back from this. Even at home, Chargers win, McDaniels gets fired.
Even with the Chargers running back issues that they're trying to figure out.
Yeah, because that's fine. Okay. I mean, the way that we saw Herbert, this is part of the issue why he's going to get fired, Chris, is because he gets so much flack, the Miami GM, to where it's like he chose Tua over Herbert. And if Herbert lights up Miami, same draft class, lights up Miami in Miami, that's tough for the owner to ignore. Coach gets fired.
Listen, when Florida Man Football locks in their picks, we lock them in together. I just bring that up, of course, because we got people that listen that like fantasy football that want to hear in case, running back conversation. But again, we're taking the Chargers. Let's talk about the Patriots and Saints. Saints are at 1-4. They are at home for whatever. Being at home at 1-4, I don't know how much it's worth anymore, Johnny. Correct. Patriots coming off that amazing win. You know what happens after you have an amazing win? You have that, man, don't lay an egg the next week.
Correct.
Who's winning this one?
And they're playing in New Orleans here. And ultimately, you asked me about New England. While I have expectations for New England, I had them preseason. I have them still now. This game is going to show me, are you a contender or pretender? So they show with the Bills what they're capable of, what they can do. They can beat an elite team.
Right.
But championship teams don't fumble the ball in the next game. A game they definitely need to win.
So they're expected to win, right?
So they're playing the Saints. Patriots beating the Saints.
Let's go. Browns and Steelers. We had to change the quarterback. Didn't help Browns last week, but it is a new week. Steelers are at home coming off the early bye week, I believe, which is crazy to me after 4 games to have a bye week.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, Steelers are at home. Who's winning this one?
Coming off the bye, at home, going against a rookie quarterback who has 1 start. Pittsburgh's win this game.
Let's go. And by the way, I know people don't talk about it, or if they do, it's very seldom now, but Flacco was QB2 last week. Now that you traded Flacco, Sanders is QB. He has to be. He's QB2, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, once Watson's coming in with a cast.
Let's go. Let's talk about the Cowboys and the Panthers. Panthers coming off that win, Johnny Cinco. Cowboys as well coming off that win. The Cowboys that I picked to make the playoffs at 2-1 are in that playoff hunt, Johnny Cinco. I'm going to pat myself on the back. Who's winning this one?
Dak is playing lights out, playing great.
Can't believe you said that.
Wow. I mean, he is. Dak is playing outstanding.
Can't believe you admitted it.
There. And the thing is that he's playing, especially elite against mediocre teams, and Carolina is that team. So Carolina, while they've somehow pulled off the miraculous win against Miami, I can't see them pulling that off again against this offense, even though Dallas's defense is not. This is going to be a scoring game. So, like Carolina, whether it's Hubbard,
I was going to ask about that. Good. Glad you
They're
brought it
still
up.
then trying to figure out if he's going to come back. Doesn't matter if it's obviously his backups went freaking nuts
Mhm.
last year, get 200 yards rushing. So regardless, the Carolinas going to run all over this Dallas defense. It's going to be a high scoring game, in my opinion, but I see Dallas coming up on top.
Let's go. I needed you. Well, we needed that because I need them to make the playoffs. Seahawks and Jaguars, Johnny Cinco, talking about laying eggs, right? You got a team in the Jaguars that just, again, had an amazing win with the Chiefs. You got the Seahawks who just lost to Tampa. Jaguars are at home. Who's winning this one? The money line is -1.5. I would have thought the money line was a little bit more, but it's -1.5. The spread here. Who's winning this one?
No, I can understand that. Seattle played dude. You saw they were back and forth, back and forth. If
Mhm.
it wasn't for this a miraculous little off the helmet tip, and that's interception by David was not an easy interception.
No.
That was a veteran. I don't see anybody in his position outside of David making that pick.
Can I say something about that real quick? Also credit to Coach Bowles, because Coach Bowles, if you saw, he was holding that play all game.
Yep.
He lets it go. And anyway, go continue because I want
No, that's right.
That just man.
Listen, all great coaches, they have a couple things in their pocket,
Yeah.
and they waited for it. And it's just waiting for the right opportunity that separates the average from the good to the great. And that's Bowles. Respect to him.
Yep.
He went ahead and put perfect play that changed the game, changed everything. Because for me, I was so frustrated at times where it's kind of like, oh God, why did you go for the 1 point? Should have won for the win, but it worked out in the end. But anyway, back to this particular game here, Chris. It's difficult. I like the win that I saw from Jacksonville. It was an ugly win. Seattle goes ahead and loses a tough game. They were back and forth here. Duval, don't hate me on this one, but I have Seattle pulling off the upset here in Jacksonville.
And just to we're all on the same page here, Florida Man Football. Again, I would love to eat crow again. I would love to eat crow again in this one, folks. And to your point, Johnny, at the end of the day, the reason why I feel like we feel this way, and that's what we talked about earlier, is that with Duval, who do we bless for this 4-1 start? It's not the offensive coach, it's not the quarterback, it's not the play calling, and so something has to give. And please, again, prove us wrong, keep winning. But I wish like the Bucs were like, oh, Baker Mayfield, right? But the Bucs were like, oh, the play calling, the coaching. There's nothing with your 4-1 start that I can be like, yo, I'm really proud of you guys in this aspect. So yes, of course, we're going to take the Seahawks to win this game.
Yeah, I needed to see. What did I talk about? I needed to see a decisive game from Trevor Lawrence. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I needed to see, some outstanding play call by our coaching. I
Right.
didn't see that. Despite this, they still went ahead and beat the AFC championships from last year. They still went ahead and won that game. But can they pull it off again? I don't know. That's why I have to go with Seattle.
Let's talk about the Rams and the Ravens, Johnny Cinco. We're talking about the last game at 1 o'clock here, Florida Man Football. And the Ravens, I don't know exactly yet on Lamar Jackson when he's coming back, if he's coming back. So that's still TBD. But the Ravens are at home. Who's taking this one?
Guys, the Ravens are a shell of the team. The defense is one of the worst in football, if not the worst, especially his secondary. And you have the only chance they have of winning is with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is that X factor that gives them any shot of winning anything. Without Lamar Jackson, this team cannot win against a team like the Rams. Rams are winning this game. I'm sorry, it's just we're all hoping for Lamar Jackson to come back, but until he does, I essentially always expect me to go to pick against the Ravens, this horrendous defense. Rams won.
Let's go. And, this is just a guy who loves watching football, watches all the games. Can I tell you something? Stafford throws a beautiful football. The guy throws a beautiful football. Last game, it just flawless. You see some guys, even Baker put some, to get that. And it's just a beautiful, perfect spiral, man. First about Hall of Famer.
With Stafford, I like, I talk about Baker Mayfield being Brett Favre. Stafford is an interesting mix for me. He's his own guy, but he's an interesting mix between Favre and Aaron Rodgers in terms of the effortlessness of just throwing that ball.
Beautiful, man.
Beautiful there, but still having that grime that occasionally he can be a bit of a gunslinger if he needs to, but he's a little more careful with the ball. But I like it. That's the decision I have to make, the tough decision I have to make. You reference him, which between Stafford and Jordan Love for my fantasy football team.
Don't worry. Daddy will get you through it. Daddy will get you through it. Titans and Raiders, Johnny Cinco, two teams that are 1-4, just like the Ravens are.
The toilet bowl game.
And I know we didn't talk about this because there was it's not really a highlight, but the way the Titans scored last week is just atrocious. It's just ridiculous the way that they scored with that fumble and touchdown. So Titans and Raiders are at home at 1-4. I will say this before we get your Florida man pick on this. I will say this. I'll give the Raiders this much credit. I did not expect the Raiders at this point to be 1-4.
I didn't.
Okay, I didn't expect to have a winning
season.
Yeah. So Raiders are at home. Who's winning this one?
I mean, come on. The Titans needed a complete moron to just drop the ball at the goal line. They needed a interception by the Cardinals to be fumbled into the end zone for a touchdown. They needed to hike the ball into Michael Murray's face. And that fumble, it was so many things went bad for the Cardinals and Titans. I'm sorry, you cannot tell me that even with two bad teams that the Titans are going to win 2 in a row. No, the Raiders are going to go ahead and start trying to figure things out here. Pete Carroll hasn't given up on Geno Smith, so they're going to go and figure things out.
No,
Bowers may be back. I don't know. He knows who's out, but regardless, Raiders will win this game.
Raiders are winning. Let's go. Bengals, Packers, Johnny Cinco. Now the new and improved Bengals. I'm pretty sure Flacco's going to end up playing this game. And it wasn't it Flacco that beat the Packers when he was with the Browns too. So that's like the talk of the town is that now they get to play Flacco again. So you got to keep that in mind here in our Florida Man football picks. But the Packers are at home, coming off the bye week, another weird bye week at 2-1-1. Who's winning this one?
Yes, Flacco didn't beat them with a top 5 defense, with a great defense, a good offensive line. He still figured it out there.
Yeah.
And he went to Cincinnati, same state, just went a couple miles down the road there to Cincinnati. And with this O-line, with this secondary, Green Bay coming off of a bye week. No, you can't sit here and tell me that somehow that Cincinnati is going to go ahead and win this game. No, Green Bay's win this game against Cincinnati. It's not going to be close.
100%. 49ers, Buccaneers, a.k.a. game of the week, afternoon game, Johnny Cinco. The 4-1 49ers, and then kudos to them what they did last week and winning that game, and taking on the Bucs at home. Man, the it's so tight. -2.5 for the Bucs. Who is winning this matchup?
Have they determined if Mac Jones or Purdy's playing?
No.
Okay, so I mean, I feel weird saying this. I would feel more comfortable if Brock Purdy was the starter for Tampa Bay to win this game. Mac Jones is really controlling this offense very well. He's handling things here. Regardless, I see it's such a similar game that we just saw with Seattle, and we went ahead and won that game. In Seattle. So you're not going to sit here and tell me that Tampa can't win against a similar team at home in Tampa. I have Baker Mayfield again doing what he's been doing insanely. Close game. Tampa wins this game by 3 to 4 points against the Niners.
Let's go. And to your point, we did prove last week that we can win without Bucky Irving for a couple of weeks. So we're not worried about that. And again, I can't wait for the bye week because we need one bad. Hopefully we get this W as well. Go Bucs. Johnny Cinco, let's talk about the Lions and the Chiefs. And before you give me, Chiefs are at home. They lost the game last week. Before you give me the Florida man pick here, I got to tell you something.
Okay.
The Lions at 4-1 have only played one team with a winning record.
I'm aware.
Okay. I know. Just want to bring that out there because Chris is listening and I hate him. So Chiefs are at home. Who's winning this game?
Listen, for me, I understand that doesn't change the fact that I think the Detroit Lions, they're still the number one in the power rankings. They're still.
I feel like that's fake, though. I feel like it's fake. That's fake.
No, but the thing is that it's not fake. It's just that everyone who's number one in the power rankings outside the first 2 weeks just keeps getting knocked off.
Yeah.
They're getting knocked off again. Kansas City Chiefs, as they didn't look that great. They see that they're falling off there. I don't see them losing at home against Detroit. I see them finding a way to win against the team. It's going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be something there. But they got so much flack, with Chris Jones just not hustling and that final play against Trevor Lawrence.
Pissed me off.
That pissed off everyone. That didn't piss me off because I hate the Chiefs. So
but it pissed me off. That's the second time this season he's done that. I checked tape.
and it's ridiculous. Like, who's essentially the highest paid player
Right,
outside of
right.
Mahomes, and he's just straight up walking. That dude fell twice. Trevor Lawrence fell 2 times, and he's just taking pictures instead of going ahead and handling that. And they could have stopped it, but hey, it worked out for Jacksonville. I'm glad they didn't. But still, I think they're going to go ahead. I don't see the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to be in the mix. They're not going to be the same Chiefs they were. Why? Because the NFL finally decided we're going to call games correctly with the Chiefs. They got the flags when they, God, and never in a million years would I have expected that pass interference call in the end zone that the Jacksonville Jaguars got. But the NFL is calling things correctly.
Well, they realize that now that they're engaged, they got Taylor Swift in the bag.
They got everything.
They got her in the bag, and then they're good. So yeah, now they're going to call for a game.
But I get it. Most people are going to look at this and think the Lions are going to win this game. But everyone that finds their way to the number 1 power ranking finds a way to go ahead and lose.
Ooh.
So this is going to be the same thing here. The Chiefs are winning this game.
Lions. Let's go. Monday Night Football, Florida Man Football, streaming on all major platforms. Do like, share, and subscribe. Wrapping this one up, we got a doubleheader once again. Johnny Cinco talking about the Bills and the Falcons. I don't know what to make of the Falcons at this point at 2-2. That's why their record is at 2-2. And of course, the Bills, we know what happened last week. Falcons are at home. Johnny Cinco, who is taking this one?
I don't see Buffalo dropping the bag 2 times in a row. They actually lost against a game against a divisional foe and the Patriots. Coming off a bye week, I understand that with Atlanta, they're going to be hyped. I'm not a fan or even a believer in Raheem Morris. Everything that he's trying to accomplish with this team is failing. It's going to continue to fail until he comes to the realization that the best opportunity to win is having Kirk Cousins as your quarterback. He refuses to do that. He wants Penix to be the guy for whatever reason. Doesn't matter. He's not the guy. Okay, you focus on last year with Cousins, who was injured, that you guys knew was injured. You didn't have those things there. When this dude is healthy, who is healthy, you guys can really do some things. So until they make that change, they're not winning against Buffalo with Penix. Buffalo wins.
Let's go. And we wrap this one up here, Florida Man Football Week 6 with the Bears and the Commanders. Again, Bears remind me a lot of the Falcons, and that not just the fact that they're 2-2, but kind of a team that you can't, they do some good things well, but then a lot of things are terrible. And then, of course, the Commanders now that have finally got a winning record at 3-2. Who's winning this one?
I mean, last year we saw this game, and the Commanders won this game on a Hail Mary against them last year. And that was a crazy game back and forth here. Washington has greatly improved. They're a better team. The Bears, from what I've seen, I'm trying to see, have they improved that much? As long as Jaden Daniels is playing and is healthy, I expect the Commanders to win this game at home. He's expected to play. He had a great game last week. So I expect the Commanders to go ahead and handle the Bears, and the Bears continue to lose like the Bears only know how.
Did the Bears also had a bye week last week?
Yes, they did.
So they're coming off the bye and they're taking an L.
Correct.
Got it. 10-4. These are the picks for Week 6. Again, redemption episode here at Florida Man Football. Now, Johnny Cinco, let me ask you a little something here. We already saw a Flacco trade. I want to talk about our Florida teams here specifically. We know with Miami, we know you mentioned and you hit it on the nail, right? The nail on the head, that ultimately Hill was a person to trade. You can't do that anymore. But let's just talk about the Bucs and the Jaguars for a moment. What trade would you like to see happen, or if there is a trade to be made for both teams that are 4-1? If there's anything, I know that we weren't expecting the. So if you don't, I have one. I have one, but
it's fine. You're looking at these teams here. Let's talk about all Florida teams. Well, Miami is too late. We moved on from that.
Right.
You guys have dropped the ball. You missed that window. It's not happening. With Tampa, on defensive end, everything's looking right. You concern yourself a little bit with Bucky Irvin, but not so much because he's a young guy.
Yeah.
You have the receiver room is covered on that there. But do you see a trade for Tampa?
I do.
I do. Like in the secondary, or what?
I see it at tight end. Andrews.
Tight end.
Andrews. Mark Andrews.
Andrews has been handling his business.
Mark Andrews. Listen, right now, to me, is a value pick. If we can get him for next to nothing, we have the salary cap to afford it. Why not add the person that Mayfield played? He played with Shepard, right? Now he plays with Andrews in college, right? Why not add him to the team? He's an amazing blocker. Why not add an extra If we know one thing about the Bucs, Johnny, is that we're prone to get hurt. things happen, right? And so to have another tight end ready to go and someone of his caliber, I think would be amazing. So my if I could make a wish and put it up there, it would be for Andrews to be a Buck. And I really think, Johnny, that's a possibility with Baltimore doing, obviously not winning and not in the playoff race.
That's not bad.
Yeah. As far as Miami, Johnny Cinco, again, thinking about the same thing about, not Miami, Jacksonville, of what they need for help, right? You said it earlier. The defense is what's helping this team, right?
Correct.
Okay, so we need some help on the offensive line. We need some. If you're saying things like our quarterback is not doing what he needs to do, or he's not giving you 300-400 yards, you've seen the snap count. I've watched the plays. We need help on that offensive line. So that's what I would address at the trade deadline is get more help. Please get more help on the offensive line. It'll help the running game. It'll help the passing game, and hopefully we can see the full plan for Coach Cohen as far as his offensive scheme goes.
Yeah, I understand it. For me, the frustration of what Trevor Lawrence was, the offensive line wasn't doing that terrible, Chris. They weren't doing that terrible. They were giving him time. He was just holding on to the ball too damn long. And I'm like, dude, and he was looking at his first option and running. Looking at his first option and running. He was just kind of like doing the things I expect from a rookie. It's very frustrating because I saw some dimes, some dots this kid threw, to Thomas, to a couple things here, but they're not consistent. That's the problem. It's like, dude, I know you have the tools. I need you to be more consistent. So ideally, great. Yes, we can give your quarterback 5 seconds. Great. But that's not the reality of today's NFL to receive that every time. You have to figure it out and figure it out quick. So there are moves to be made, it is what it is. On the fantasy end, Chris, now let's just make a quick little change to fantasy football. We've talked everything to death regarding what happened last week, what we expect the upcoming week here. But fantasy-wise, is there anybody on your end on the waiver wire that you think is the time to go ahead and this is a good pickup?
I'll give you 2 quick ones for me. We saw it last week. Sam Darnold still only owned in like 30% of leagues. It's about time you picked him up. Bye weeks are, but yeah, 30% leagues. Bye weeks are coming. It's about time. And the other person, and I have him in another league, is Mason Taylor for the Jets. The guy is going to give you production. If you need a tight end, if you have a 12-man league where tight ends are kind of hard to come by, he is still available in most leagues. So again, for me, Mason Taylor for the Jets at tight end, and of course Sam Darnold, the quarterback. I can't believe 30%. That's crazy.
That's insane. But for me, Hassan Haskins, obviously with the injuries with the Chargers, he's going to be available as a running back. Let's go ahead and make some moves. He's going to be the next guy up. It just makes perfect sense. He's available in 90% of leagues there, so he's available. And try to pick him on the waiver wire. Depending on where you're at, you probably get him. Outside of that, guys, it's a good idea to go ahead and pick up the Green Bay Packers defense. They are playing a horrendous Cincinnati Bengals team. So if you are full to drop the Packers and they're available, go ahead and pick them up there. It's going to pay dividends.
And talking about being a fool, there's also trades that happen, and the people that are too coward to do trades. If you haven't already done so, trade Diggs. I told you guys to trade him last week, but now trade him. And you know what? Let me tell you something. Diggs he's a wide receiver 1. He's gonna have a great year. But obviously for me, Johnny, this is the peak as far as points. This is the peak. So if you need help at running back, for example, then please trade him. And if you do need wide receiver depth, obviously keep him. But if you are, then now's the time to do it. Don't be a chicken like a lot of people in leagues when they don't accept trades when you send gold for nothing.
Regardless, guys, I referenced this last week. It's do or die time in the fantasy football league, guys. If you are 1-4, if you are 0-5, you cannot sit there on your hands and think that, all right, hey, I'm good. I'm gonna ride. No. I'm not saying to give away, get magic beans. But
but stop. If you're 1-4, and because you got the injury bug early, and your guys were not, God forbid, not in IR, but they were hurt, right?
Okay.
And you're 1-4, and you still haven't moved them, you're the problem. That bottom line, you're the problem.
Well, the problem is that there's always players who are so, I get it. You're so reluctant to go ahead and make a move, but scared money don't make money. And guys are injured. Like example, Mike Evans. If you had Mike Evans and you got him injured and you're not winning, it's idiotic for you to hold on to a player that you can't use for 3 or 4 or 5 weeks here. you know you're losing. You need to make a move. You need to go ahead and try to get somebody. And still, you're thinking, oh, Mike Evans has so much upside. He has so much. He's going to go ahead and dominate. He wants 1,000 yards. Great. How is that helping you in week 5, 6, 7? It's not.
Yep.
It's not helping you now. So go ahead and get somebody you can actually utilize and use now. But you want to hold on to the name. You want to hold on to certain things here, and it's not helping you, and that's why you're 1-4.
I got another one for you, Florida Man Football. Talking about Chase, you're probably 1-4 if you have Chase, and your team is not very good because Chase had the fumble, right? He had, had the fumble, the quarterback and the whole.
He had the one good game.
Yeah, exactly.
Last week he did.
And then last week he gives you 29 points.
Yeah.
Trade him. You're 1-4. What are you doing? Now's the time for you to build your team and build yourself back. Take the opportunity and sell him high.
I get it, Chris, but you have people who own Chase because most people, and I advised against it. We talked about that Chase was the number 1 pick. I understand that's a number 1 pick. Consensus was he's the number 1 pick for this year's fantasy draft. And what did I say, Chris? We talked about this. So it's kind of like people who were number 1 last year are never number 1 the following year. And it's like, Chase is not the number 1 guy for me. I understand he's going to be elite, but be very cautious picking number 1 pick. You picked him up, saw what happened with Burrow, and these things happen. So now it's time to trade him, but don't start thinking that you're going to go ahead and start clean up with something that makes sense for you. But it's just these guys who picked up their number 1 overall pick. They're obsessed with that, and they think they need to get 3 picks with them or something ridiculous. They don't use their common sense.
Last thing before you close out the show here, Florida Man Football, we're talking about the fantasy football blunders that people make when you don't trade people when you should. What about that one guy who drafts 5 guys, literally 5 guys of his own team? Like what are you doing? Seriously, what are you doing?
I don't understand people who pick up. You have to spread it out. You have to take your fanhood out of it.
Take your fanhood out of it.
You have to. I understand a couple of things here. Chris, you've been guilty of it to where you want some Tampa Bay Buccaneers in your team. You want certain players.
Brother, not 5. I'll take the quarterback and the wide receiver. Yeah. I'll take the quarterback and the running back with the tight end. I would do that. I wouldn't take the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, kicker, and defense and expect to win a game. All right, let's be real.
Yeah, you're depending way too much on one team to go ahead and produce that. It makes no sense. But those are always the guys who we expect to lose every.
But let's talk about that. You pay money. Sometimes you're the commissioner. What the hell are you doing? What are you doing?
Because the problem was that with the commish there is that 1 year it worked out for him.
Oh,
1 year.
Okay, that's what it is.
Something happened. The stars aligned.
That's what it is.
And it worked out. And he doesn't let it go. That was a great year for that guy. That guy won $20,000 on some separate thing. He won the league that year. He won certain things here. Everything kind of worked out for him that year. And since the stars aligned for that 1 year, he's going to ride that out. The rest, you're never winning again. It's never going to happen again. But hey, kudos to you. It's fine. You do whatever you want to do whatever you need to do. At the end of the day, guys, we want you guys to have fun. We want you guys to make some money, especially fantasy football, and then also on your picks here.
Right.
This week, guys, I'm guaranteeing you double-digit victories here. It's going to happen.
Florida Man Football is right in the ship. Let's go.
Analyze everything on this here. So trust us. Trust the picks here. Fantasy-wise, go ahead and trust us here and trust the process exactly there. Yeah. We appreciate you guys. Please continue to like, share, and follow. Subscribe, please, as well, if you haven't already. Any final words, Chris?
Listen, let's get back on the winning column and let's roll. Let's rock and roll.